All right, I'll be right back in 2 seconds. We're going to start in 1 minute. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you for joining us. My name is Nicole Maxwell, and I am the CEO of Black Multiverse Enterprises. And we are all about making sure that folks find their way into the metaverse. But these trainings are a part of our partnership with Grow with Google. And so Google actually has quite a bit of a relationship with the small business community where they have taken an interest in making sure that we have tools and we know how to use tools. And Black Multiverse is definitely a part of that. We offer scholarships to our employees, but also are able to utilize the Grow with Google partnership to help people just skill up. And so we came up with a skill up program for the fourth quarter of this year, which started on Saturday. We started our trainings a little bit early, and so those started last week. But every Tuesday and Thursday, we are going to be providing training to folks to let them know how and where to connect with us. So and how to skill up in the future. And, sometimes it's just important to be able to have headspace to think about things. And one way to do that is with some additional skills. They also look pretty good on a resume. So if you don't have a lot of technical skills, then this is a way for you to actually take advantage of something that's going to help boost you and potentially help boost your career as well. So I am streaming in several different locations right now. So we have our Google Meet going on. We also have which is on a new link. So my apologies to anybody who's watching this that is waiting for the other room to join. I can't actually open it up, and so that's a problem. So we are just going to keep it trucking. I did send out an email to everybody to let them know what was happening. We are also streaming to our YouTube, so everybody who registered will receive a copy of this recording just because of the snafu. And then I'm also streaming to the community in Discord. So we are live in several different locations right now. So no matter where you are, please take a minute. If you are not already, please like and subscribe the video that you are watching if you can. If you can't, then thank you for being here, and we appreciate you and we appreciate your time. So my name is Nicole Maxwell. I'm the CEO of Black Multiverse Enterprises. I'm also the founder of a community called Blackverse. And so we are dedicated to the education, training, and advancement of Black people all up and down the decentralized metaverse. We are also in Black Multiverse. That is a community that is dedicated to disrupting disenfranchisement so that we can preserve possibilities in the future. And so everything I do is about making sure that we can pave some ways for that. So we're doing great things over at Black Multiverse and Blackverse. So please connect with us. Make sure that you understand what's coming and how you can show up in the future. And so, with that said, we're going to go ahead on over to our next, we're going to start the training. All right, so hopefully you can see my screen. I am going to just tell you that today we're going to be talking about Google Calendar and Google Gmail. So most people are using Google for search. We are going to use and dive into Google Calendar and Gmail so that you get a better understanding of what is happening and how you can use those tools in your everyday lives. Why? Because effective communication is not only sharing information with others, but it also helps to establish trust, and it also helps to set the scope for it also helps to set the scope for your project and defines expectations. It's critical for improving teamwork and building trust. And in today's session, we are going to create and share a new calendar and then add an event to that calendar, as well as receive and accept invitations in our Gmail. What you'll need to do if you want to follow along is have two screens going. If you want to achieve that by using one of those screens being your phone, you can do that. If you're just going to watch for today, that's cool too. If you have questions, tap in and ask those questions, no problem. I'm pretty well versed in all this stuff, so I should be able to help with almost everything. Not everything, but almost everything. And we want to make sure that we get you what you need so that you can get going and start using this a little bit. In this exercise, you're going to be able to schedule a new event and share that event with others. We're going to start in Calendar so that you can schedule the event, and then we'll move on to Gmail so that you can tell people about that event. Very similar to what I had to do today. And so we've seen what happens when that doesn't work quite as well as it's supposed to. But you are able, once we complete the session, we'll take you through planning an event step by step, and then give you some some tips and tricks that'll help make your life a little bit easier. All right, so let's start creating and sharing a new calendar. So you may already have a calendar. If you do, this is going to help you to create and share a new one. Sharing calendars is really cool because it allows other people to stay tapped and in tune with your schedule. It's kind of collaborative calendaring, if you want to call it that. If you have like a new event or a meeting that you ever needed to invite people to, then you understand this. Today you will practice the tools that you need in the context of an upcoming event. So something that's coming up, whether it's a meeting or like we just got done with the Blackverse Summit, or you can, maybe every day we have some folks here who run a room every day on Clubhouse. And so maybe you want to set a calendar for that. Today you're going to be able to practice those skills and then also apply these digital skills to various scenarios, okay? So in the example, you're going to be able to use a calendar to schedule an upcoming family event, a meeting at work, or an appointment, all right? Then you'll be able to use Gmail to share your calendar and then send yourself email reminders. Share your calendar with your friends or your family or any coworkers who might need to know about your schedule. So let's get started. First, we need to access the applications. So if you don't know how to do this, this is step one always, and that is to make sure that you have a Google account. If you don't have a Google account, please go ahead and set one up. So a Google account, you're going to be able to sign in and then actually insert your password if you need to, and then you'll be right there and ready to go. Okay, so what you're going to want to do for this activity is open a new tab. All right, so go to google.com and then open a new tab. If you're not signed in, click on sign in and enter your username and your password. Most of us do this every day at least once. If you are not in that number of people that do this every day, go ahead and do that. And we'll wait for just a second. If you have questions about this, go ahead and holler now. All right. So did you know that when you sign in, though, you get access to a whole bunch of apps? So a lot of people are just using Google for search and for maybe Gmail. Okay, so depending on your preferences, you might be using Gmail. But there's a whole lot of other tools here. And so the way that you access those tools is by clicking this link up here at the top that looks like this. So on the sign in page, you click that link there at the top and it looks like a dial pad. That's what I like to tell people. It's 9 digits, but it looks like a dial pad. So you're going to click that. That's actually your app selector. So you're going to be able to click that once. And when you click that, it opens up the world. So you see Google Sheets, you see Google Docs, Slides, Google Drive is there, Photos, Google Chrome, and Gmail. And so depending on the order that you have placed everything in, you may see something a little bit different. If you guys can give me 1 second, I have one person who is trying very hard to get into this meeting. And so I want to let folks get in here because I want them to be able to learn. So give me 2 seconds so I can do that really quickly. And if you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask those now. Oh, can I ask that you turn your phone off or mute us out so we're not hearing your conversation? Thank you. All right, so joining on Google is a pretty important thing. These apps are extremely important to everyone as they are making their way into these different scenarios. We've got one new person joining us, so that's cool too. We're probably going to see folks as they realize that I sent this out over email as an update. They're going to be rolling in, and that's cool. Like I said, we're streaming to many different locations right now, so I'm trying to coordinate everything, and I apologize. Give me just 1 second. This person really needs to get in here because they need all the skills they can get at this point in time. They're looking for a new position, and so we want to make sure that they're here. All right. Okay, so my apologies for that. All right. But so on Google Apps, so what we've done so far is we have gone to the Google screen, and I'm using the Brave browser, but you can do this in Chrome as well. It looks exactly the same. You're going to be able to go to google.com. And when you go to google.com, you may see sign in over here, or you may see your little icon. If you click on, go ahead and sign in if you're not signed in. And then when you click on this little icon, the one that looks like a dial pad, that's your Google Apps. And so if you hover over that, it literally tells you that. Click on that, and then you will be able to see the various things here. One of them is going to be your Drive. And so we always start out in Drive. You can go to Drive, and I'm actually going to switch to my other account because, you know, we're going to go ahead and show this in our, not that, we're going to show this in our Drive. And so click that, and then we're going to go to Calendar. Okay, so Drive and Calendar are two of the main apps that you're going to want to be very familiar with, but your calendar is where we're going to live today. So go ahead and click on the calendar. All right, so when you see your calendar here, you're going to be able to create a new calendar. So as you're searching through calendar, let's do this together. My calendar happens to be in the lower right-hand corner, so you're going to be able to click on calendar. And like I said, this is a brand new account, so there's nothing here. You do have the option to download this into your phone, so you can pull up the actual apps for it, and that's actually pretty cool. Here, though, in the calendar, when you click on Create, up here at the top, you're going to click on Create, and then it has you create an event or a task. What you're actually going to do here, though, let me go back one slide. I got interrupted. I'm so sorry. Okay, so we're going to select an event that you want to schedule and then pick an event that would need to be shared with others more than once, such as like a club or a sports event or a meeting, something about volunteering. Those are the different ways that you're going to be able to use it. So you're going to go to your apps and then click on calendar. And then you'll also be able to see your calendars up here at the top. So you're going to be able to create a new calendar and then add additional calendars. So you can add other calendars other than the one that is active and live up at the top. Okay, so we're going to go to do that. Okay, this is your personal calendar. So what you're seeing on screen is your personal calendar. If you share this calendar with the group, they'll see everything you add: doctor's appointments, birthdays, personal errands. And sometimes you don't want to share all that info. So if you can create a new calendar, that will allow you to just share that information with certain folks and certain people in a certain group. What types of groups might you want to share a calendar with? Think about those folks in your head, and then kind of think about the group of people that would be, or the individual that would be. Okay. You're going to click the arrow next to My Calendars and select Add Other Calendars. So what that looks like in real time, we're down here at the bottom, in the bottom left-hand corner, and we're going to come over and hover underneath Other Calendars and then click on Add Other Calendars, okay? That's going to give you a context menu, and that context menu is going to allow you to create a new calendar, okay? And that's what we're going to do. We're going to create a new calendar. All right. So when you're creating your new calendar, you're going to be able to enter a name for the calendar. So give it a name that's common, that helps you to remember what it actually is. And you know, we'll decide what we want to name our calendar. I think I know what I'm going to name it. But then you're going to be able to add a description and the time zone. So time zones are really important because especially today, like our businesses and our individual selves are operating around the world. So having that standard time zone helps people to know when you say 2 o'clock, does it really mean 2 o'clock? And so forth, okay? You are going to select create a calendar button, okay? And then select settings and return to your calendar. Your new calendar will show up underneath calendar. So let's do that together. Here, we're going to go ahead and create new calendar. And I'm going to call this Black Multiverse Training. All right, and then every Tuesday and Thursday is going to be the description. And of course, we're Eastern Standard Time, or at least I am. And then we're going to go ahead and create the calendar. And that now adds it to the list of calendars that I have access to. So it takes a minute. It takes a little second. And then you can go to configure down here at the bottom. But we're not going to do that. We're going to add an event. So right here, you should actually see it. So over here on the left-hand side, you're seeing settings for My Calendar, and it actually shows you that your calendar is now here. Okay? All right. So let's walk through some next steps. So let's add a first event. So when you're planning an event as a group, one person is going to add the event and then share it with everybody else. Would it be helpful to have one calendar for the group instead of keeping track of everybody's calendars? Absolutely. So what we're going to do now is add our event to the calendar. View your calendar by month, and that makes it easy for you to find a date for your event. All right. So sometimes, like, the default view for this is always, I'm sorry, I'm going to go back. The default view for this is always the day of the week. So we are looking at the week view. And so right now on mine, I see Sunday through Saturday, and I see all of these events. If I have a fuller calendar, like I'm actually seeing that, and I'll give you an example of a fuller calendar here. So this is one of my calendars. And so that's what it can look like when it's really busy, right? So we want to make sure that we have, and everything that you're seeing in red is another calendar of mine specifically. And so it just shows kind of like what my days look like and kind of my availability. But when you're doing it like this allows you to coordinate with people's schedules and times. So what we're going to do is go ahead and we're going to go to the day view. I'm sorry, but we're going to go to the month view. So in the month view, you're going to come up to the top of the screen and then click month. All right. And so that will allow you to see different days. I'm going to toggle through these because sometimes it's really important to be able to toggle through them. So when you click on day, that shows you the day view. You just have one day that you're viewing. And so that can be Tuesday. Over here on the right left-hand side, you have the toggle for scrolling or traversing through your calendar. So we're going to go Tuesday. Today is Tuesday. And then we have the 5th, we have the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, so forth and so on, okay? And so then we also have the week. This is the week that's being shown. That's the default view. The month is also here. And you can add in holidays and things like that. Down here where it says other calendars, you can add those in, all right? So my holidays do show up here. You can also show and view by schedule. So that gives you the list version, which some people like that better because they're used to project management style things. And so that's very similar to a Gantt chart a little bit. Or you can view a 4-day work week. So we know that Europe, I believe, just went to a 4-day work week. And so that's always cool. But it also lets you just see just specific portions of your calendar instead of the full thing. All right. So sometimes that is more beneficial. But we're here on the month view. All right. So when you plan an event as a group, one person adds the event. We already talked about that. And then when you select a day in your calendar and a window will appear where you can add details for the event. All right. So if you select a day, a window appears and that window pops up and shows you the event scheduler. And here you're able to change your dates, the durations, and then just basically scroll down, filling things in. So you are able to add in a name. So this is going to be event 1. And you're able to find a date and time that works. So it automatically schedules it for the same day, but there's not ever usually a time that's automatically added in when you're doing it like this. All right, so you can add in time, click that button to add in time, and then that will give you some drop downs. So you're able to pick the time of day that you actually want your meeting because that's how you schedule a meeting. So let's choose 11 a.m., 11 to 12 today. You also have the option to change this to an all-day meeting, which will take out the option for time. The ending time can be adjusted. So if you want to have like a 3-hour meeting, it's really beneficial to use the information in the parentheses to help you do that. So let's say I want to have a 5-hour meeting. I know without, having to be too good at time that that's going to be from 11 to 4 p.m. All right. Okay. And then, yeah, so you're going to do that. And then down here, you're going to be able to add in guests. You're going to be able to add a location. So I always like to say that I'm in the metaverse, and just see what happens when I do that. And so when you are here, you're able to also very quickly now add in Google Meet video conferencing info. So if I wanted to do this, I could just click this once and it adds those details in. And it also will tell you how many people you can have based on this particular setting. So if you are a Google personal user and you're just using like the free versions of things, you are able to have 1 hour meetings with up to 100 guests. So 100 people can participate in your event or activity. And so it's really easy just to add that in there. If you are if you are a Google Workspace user, then you're able to actually use this and add in I want to say it's up to 250, but it might be 200. So it's somewhere in between there, between 200 and 250 people in at least the basic, and then it goes on and on and on. So I think there's options for up to 1,000. So down here, you're going to be able to add in an attachment. I'm sorry, you're going to be able to add in a description. So add in the description. And let me actually, somebody else is emailing trying to get in, and I'm just pausing to tell them to come on over to okay. All right, so you're able to add in a description. Now you can make this a description as long as you would like to. So as much information as you want to put in here, you can. It does have simple formatting options, just like in your Gmail. So you're able to format if you want to make a header bold, you can do that. Or you can also add in an attachment. So that's just the basics of how to do this. And then down here, you're able to actually schedule this according to the color that you want, and to define how you want that meeting to show up in your settings. So you're able to, let's say, join us. And then I don't want to put in an attachment, but I am going to make it bold. So I'm going to select my information and then click the bold icon there. All right. And then down here, I can change this to have a specific color. So if I know that all of my Black Multiverse meetings are going to be on Thursdays, I can put them all in a single color. That way it triggers something in my mind to let me know what that actually is before I ever look at it. And then you can define whether or not you want this to show up as a free availability or as busy. So if you put it in as free availability, that means that you are free, and so other people can still schedule on your calendar. So it's something maybe you don't take as seriously. Maybe it's a reminder. Maybe it's something that like you need to check your Twitter at a certain time. And so, give me just one more second. I am going to shoot this over one more time to this person. This person's trying to get in as well. And I've seen some folks join, so thank you guys for being here. Thank you, and I apologize for the confusion. We have a couple of people who are still trying to get in. For some reason, they're not seeing my email. I'm not sure what that's about because it was sent out. Okay. And we are, like I said, we are streaming to multiple places. So please bear with me. I'm just trying to get as many people in here as I can so that they have access to it. If anybody else does want to come in, I'm just going to point them to the video that we are going to have so that we can go ahead and continue, because we're going to hit time today. So anyway, so you're able to show whether or not you're busy or free. If you're busy, that means no one can book you at that same time. If you are free, then that means that someone else can overlap your meetings. And so I'm going to go ahead and put free, and then I am going to define when I want my time to come in. So it can be a notification can be sent 5 minutes before, 10 minutes before, 15 minutes before, 30 minutes before, or an hour before. And then I can also customize it. When you click on customize, just so that we're clear on what this is. So this is a notification. That's when your phone's going to ring, your email's going to pop up, your calendar's going to pop up. Each of those things are going to pop up with a notification. So when you click on custom, you're able to define what you want to receive and how you want to receive it. This works really good on the desktop version. It's kind of iffy on the mobile version, but at least on my phone. But you're able to choose. So if you know that you want to get a notification, then go ahead and choose that. And then you're able to select the time frame. So let's say that I wanted it 7 minutes, be like something weird, 7 minutes before. I could do that 7 days before, 7 hours before, 7 weeks before. This notification would come through and alert me that, hey, this is happening. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and stick with what we know. We're going to know. And so I'm going to go ahead and save that. All right. So that has been saved. And if you can tell, this color that's here is actually very different from the color that's actually here. So it's two different colors of green. And I can go back in there and adjust this to a different color of green. If you want to tailor certain things, you do need to go in and edit the actual event. So in order to edit, you click on it once, and then you're able to edit the event. And so you can choose which one you want. So let's say that we're going to do yellow. I'm doing yellow so it stands out a little bit more. So now we have an event scheduled. Now you can see that it's a totally different color than what we have here. And so you're able to see the differences there. All right, so let's catch up here with the slide deck. We've added our first event. We found a date, and we entered the title of the event. We entered the start and end times, added a description, and then saved it. We did save ours. I am going to actually go back into this and I'm going to go back into this, and I am going to add a person to this list. Now I don't have any folks who are in this particular calendar, because like I said, I just set this up. So I'm going to invite one of my own email addresses to this as an attendee. So up here, you're going to be able to find where it says guests, and this is how you add in new people to come and attend your actual event. So if I wanted to do that, I'm going to go ahead and add Nicole at blackverse.io. And I'm going to also include Nicole at blackmultiverse.io. And I'm also going to include Technical. And I'm going to send each one of them an invitation to this event that's starting here in a few minutes. All right. So we're going to go ahead and save that. And when I save that, it prompts me. So what do I want to do? Am I sure I wanted to do this? Because there's people who need this invitation. Are you sure you want to invite them? That's basically what this is saying. And so then you say yes, if you do want to. If you don't, you don't have to send it. If you just wanted to see what that would look like, you can click and go back to edit the invitation. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click send. And so now my event attendees have been sent an email. And so those event attendees all received an email from me saying, hey, come join this event. All right. So we're going to add our first event. So we have already done this. Now, to do this a little bit differently and add it to the calendar or the group that we want it to be, this is a good practice, right? So for this one, I included this to my personal calendar, but I don't want it there. I want it on my other calendar. And so what we're gonna do is come back in here, and so this happens to be on the Meta Mind Shift calendar. Down here at the bottom, it shows you which calendar it's on. What we're gonna do is make sure that we switch that to Black Multiverse Training. And so now that's going to be on BME training, and you're going to be able to see it there. So you're able to use the calendar that we just created and shift an event to that from your personal calendar. I find that that's like the most important thing you're going to need to be able to do, is because you're going to do exactly what I did, which is set that event up and do it regularly, and then it's on your calendar. Nobody sees it. The quick way to do that is come back into the event, edit it, and then just come down here to the middle and select the actual event that you want to choose. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and save that, and now it's on my Black Multiverse Training calendar, right? So, and it's also on my Meta Mind Shift calendar. If you think about why, if you want to type that in chat, go right ahead. The reason why is because you are able to, you're sending it from one calendar to another calendar. So it treats each of those things as other people, right? So you're sending it from the Meta Mind Shift calendar to the Black Multiverse calendar. And so now you have it in both locations. And so I'll show you what that looks like too. So we're going to take that off. I'm going to deselect all of these except for Black Multiverse. So now you see, and I'll take off holidays too, just so it's cleaner. So now you're seeing just the Black Multiverse Training calendar. But when I add in Meta Mind Shift, now I have two events. Now this is not, it's not two events, it's just one event, but it's shared two different calendars, if that makes sense. All right. So, okay. Now we have we're going to move on to the next step here. And so we've been able to select our group calendar. On this calendar, you're able to go ahead and share your calendar with someone else. So we've created a calendar and we've put it in, we've put an event there. Now we're going to go ahead and be able to share this event calendar. So when I come down to my calendars on the left-hand side, I can click on the little icon here, or the three dots here, and that's going to allow me to either display only this, so that deselects everything else. It's going to allow me to hide this, so maybe I'm doing a presentation and I don't want people to see it, I can hide it. And then it's also going to be able to let me select the color. Now, I don't see the color I want for this, and so what I want is that to go with kind of the theme of what we do. And so I'm going to change that color setting. And so now everything that I set up for Black Multiverse is going to be black by default. But it can also be any other color that you would like. So I could also do neon green because that's our other color green. But because I have a lot of green on my calendar anyway, I think I might just save it as black. But there we go. So that would be the neon green version. All right, and so here you're able to go ahead and go into settings and sharing. So we're going to click on the three dots and then go to settings and sharing. All right, so remember a few minutes ago we set up a notification to come to us 7 minutes after or before an event starts. Our event is technically starting in 7 minutes. So the event that we just set up just prompted me on my calendar. Now I got a notification. My phone also sent me a notification. And so that's how it works. Those are the ways that you can receive notifications. If you wanted to get a notification by email, you may have that by email as well. All right, so we're in calendar settings, and so we're going to go back to our slide deck. We're going to go, we've already done the three dots. We've gone to settings and sharing. Now we're going to access permissions and then share it with specific people. So this is where you actually are defining who can see your calendar. All right. So we're going to access permissions for events. Click that once or just scroll down. And then you can say, you can make it publicly available. And that means that everybody under the sun can see your calendar. That's helpful if you want to be a consultant and you're using Google Calendar for your consultancy or for a coaching business or anything like that. But most people want to be able to share with specific people. So I only want certain people to be able to see that. So I'm going to invite Nicole at, let's use Blackverse because that's a little bit different. And then I'm going to add in her name. You can type in a name if that name doesn't already appear. If that name doesn't appear, that means that you have not added that person to your contacts or you've never sent email to them, so they didn't get stored in your contacts. All right. So under here, under permissions, you're going to set what they can see. So they're either able to see your free and your busies, but you're hiding the details. They can see all of your event details. They can make changes to events, or you can make changes and manage sharing. Now, I am somebody who is, I err on the side of caution, and that caution is always give less permissions and then give access when needed. And so I will let them see what is free and busy, and that's it. And then I will send that off. Now, if you depending on who you're inviting to this specific calendar, maybe it's your mom or maybe it's, your kids, they may need to actually see the details, in which case you want them to have that greater level of information. All right. So we're going to send this on over. All right. And now I see that my calendar is shared with specific people. This first line is grayed out for certain or for everyone else because that's actually me. So I can't make adjustments to that. I have to have access to it, but I can give other people certain access. Okay. So this is really cool for teams and being able to do things with team members. I want to show you once again my calendar. So this is what it looks like. So this is my calendar that I've shared from my consultancy business. I've shared it actually with a couple of businesses, but I've shared it with Black Multiverse. So what you're seeing right now, all these red busies, those are all coming from another calendar that I have. And so the details are not there, but when I'm free and when I'm not free. The ones that are in blue that do have the details are things that are scheduled here directly on this specific calendar. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. If you guys have questions, don't forget to pop them into the chat. We are streaming on several different platforms right now. So if you don't happen to have chat and you're watching over on YouTube, please do type in the questions and I will answer them after the session. If you're watching replays on YouTube, do the same thing. I will make sure you get an answer for any questions that you have. It's always helpful to put a time that question came up. So look at the timestamp and then provide that question there in reference to the time. And maybe we'll have a class on how to do that too. All right, so we've already done this. We're going to share the calendar, share with specific people. We've already done that. And then we talked about the permission settings, what people can see, and how to put it on the calendar. So this one, for the rest of what we're doing, they do want us to actually have the ability to make changes and manage sharing. So I'm going to go back and modify the permissions that I've given just for this instance right now. I'm going to select the one at the bottom. Okay, so that instantly changes. You don't have to do anything. There's no saving on this page, and it automatically updates. So a lot of Google steps are like that. I would say all, but it's not all. A lot of them are like that, but when you get into things like the workspace on the back end, they do want you to actually click that save button because that's letting them know that you actually meant to do what you were doing. All right. So additional details. I think we have gone through this. We did go through this. So we added a date, we added a title, we added Google Meeting info, and I think honestly, like the way that I did it is best. Like, obviously that works for me. If you find it better to break things up, and so that it's in different steps, then that might make sense for you and for what you do. Everybody's going to find like their kind of perfect harmony with creating events. But when you're creating an event, I think that the easiest thing to do, to me, is to come through and just step through each item that's required or each item that's listed here. What you do have access to also is to click that button that I just did, and I'm going to do it again. I'll do it slower so you can see it. Click event. Down here at the bottom, you have access to more options. So you're going to be able to fill in the date, the time, add guests, add a location, add the description and attachments, add in which calendar it's going to be on. You can do that right here. And if you click it once, that gives you the access to your different calendars. So don't forget that, because that's probably a new step for you if you're attending this training. Then you can also click down here at the bottom and choose more options. And so more options gives you what we call the full screen view of everything. All right, so now you're going to be able to receive and accept invitations in Gmail. So this, a lot of us do this and we just click accept. So it's helpful to understand why you're clicking accept, right? So you're able to accept or decline invitations in Gmail. So what you're going to do is go to a new tab in Chrome, open up your Gmail, find the invitation email, and then click yes to accept that invitation. So in the middle here is where we really want to focus. Oops. I gotta go back. Hang on. So here is where we really want to focus, and I was trying to zoom in a little bit for you so you could see that, but you have options here, and so those options are yes, maybe, and no. So those are your options to respond when somebody sends you an email, an invitation to an event. And that event, again, can be a meeting or anything like that. So you're going to be able to click yes, maybe, or no. All right. So yes, maybe, or no. Yes, I'm going to come. I'm absolutely going to be there. It sends off a message that says that you're confirmed. If you say no, it sends off a message that says you declined. If you say maybe, and it removes it from your calendar if you say no. If you say maybe, then it sits on your calendar and it looks like you're going to attend, perhaps maybe. So you're not always just bound to do things just because somebody asked you to. You actually get the option to go and decide whether or not you actually want to attend that. So in this instance, we're going to go ahead and click yes. And then you're going to open up your email in a new browser, and then click on the Google Apps icon, and then click on Gmail. Okay, so that's how you're going to access your Gmail. In case you didn't know, that's another way to do it. Now, when you're in here, you can add a new Gmail message, and that's going to allow you to compose a new email, add recipient emails. You're going to be able to use copy or blind copy, add a subject, and then add in your typed message. So those are the basics of how to use Gmail. What a lot of people do not know is that there's email etiquette. And so when you're sending out something over a large distribution, or if, let's say, you're inviting people to an event and those people are not associated with each other in any kind of way other than your specific event. Oftentimes, especially in professional settings, people do not want their emails, especially if it's a personal email, they don't want that email shared with other people. And so the way to get around that is to do what we call blind copy. or what we call BCC. So it's blind carbon copy. Carbon copy means you're copying someone on the message. You're not intending for them to apply. You're just kind of informing them of this. But blind copy is where you're actually being able to provide privacy to that person's email. So they see that you sent it to them and only them. They don't see like the other 999,000 people that are on that email, and vice versa. Like those other 999,000 people don't know that you sent that to them as well. This is all about privacy. If people do not like their emails being shared out, I guarantee you, they are going to be the ones to unsubscribe to everything that you do, never support anything you do going forward, and then also probably send you a nasty, what we call a nasty gram or a nasty email that just says, hey, why did you send my email to the whole world? I don't do that. People protect their privacy a lot and don't share that kind of information with strangers, even when they're in business. So when you're in business, it's helpful to have your website out there, but it is not helpful to get your email inundated with spam from marketers and all sorts of other people who are reaching out to them about things that you don't know. And in a lot of cases, that's also illegal. So there are some things that we absolutely need to know as we go forward, especially if we're, trying to step things up and step into business. All right. One great thing that we all need to use, and Google is actually starting to do this a little bit more automated, but that is checking your spelling. So if you want to check spelling, you're able to actually check your spelling by clicking on the little 3 dots down here on the bottom next to the trash can, and then click check spelling. Okay, and that's just going to read through your email and then check your spelling, make sure that you don't have spelling errors. Sometimes it's wrong. Sometimes, it's checking things that aren't actually supposed to be changed, and they're the right actual spelling of certain things. That's especially important when you are in a new industry and that industry has jargon and acronyms, or if you're a developer, because we have a lot of codes and things that we talk about in our emails, and it's just not useful in a lot of those. All right, so thinking about being professional and putting on a professional front, you definitely want to have an email signature. So how do you create an email signature? Let's step through that, okay? All right, so let's step through that. So this is going to be a challenge. So there's about a few minutes remaining for this course, but I want to experiment. I want you to experiment with kind of the cool features of Google Apps. And one of those things and one of those ways to do this is to actually add in a signature. So the signature just says, hey, I'm a professional, look at me. Okay. You have the ability to actually add in things on your signature that always get sent out with your messages. So when you put on your signature. And so you're able to share most commonly, you're going to be sharing your name, your email address, your company name if you have one, and then how to get in touch with you. So your contact information can include like a phone number or an email, like I said, your website, or a project that you're working out. Some people also include things such as a quote. Other people include things such as a privacy policy or a confidentiality notice. So all of those things are components of an email, and I'm actually going to show you mine here in just a second if I can. Yeah. So this is an example of mine. You come down here to insert signature. So this would be, let's say that I had filled out a whole entire email and then I am adding in a signature. Like I have different options for signatures. This one was one that I had when we had our initial logo. And then this is the other one I was testing out. I don't really like that one so much, but I do like it a little bit. And then this is the one that I use most commonly. And so the elements of this particular one is, it's got my name, my title or designation. I'm a CMO, that is the Chief Metaverse Officer for Black Multiverse Enterprises. This is actually an image. So if I went and I clicked on the image and then I did original size, you would see how big that is. It's actually huge. But I'm going to go back and like I could also do best fit, and that's still huge. But when I click on small, it goes in there perfectly. So I have this saved to provide that information. And then I have my phone number, how to reach me, and how to reach me on email. I also have a quote, and then my confidentiality statement. Okay, so those are the different elements of the emails that I provide, or the email signatures that I provide. And so I use a variety of fonts and sizing to make it look what I think okay. I have another email that is a little bit different, and so I'm not going to show that one, but it's a huge block, and so it has a lot of different ways to get in touch. All right. So what we're going to do is go ahead and create that email signature, and I'm going to open up my email. So again, we're going to google.com, and I am not going to click here to go into this Gmail, but I'm going to switch accounts. So like I said, I have many Gmail accounts, but what I'm going to do is switch accounts, and that I click this one time. I'm going to come over here to Meta Mindshift, because there should be like literally no emails in here. But I'm going to go and just click directly on Gmail. The other way you can get here is by clicking on apps and then finding Gmail. I told the other class this, but this is very important. When you are starting to use apps, there's a certain layout that Google has. I like to move this around. So I use Gmail quite a bit. And so I want Gmail to be quickly accessible. So I can stick that up here, and all I have to do is drag and then drop. Okay, so if I want Gmail up here, or if I want YouTube up here at the top, I can drag and then drop. I actually want my Gmail over here because that's like the first place that my mouse is going to hit. Why, I don't know. I'm weird like that, but that's what I want. And I want my drive over here. And then my calendar can come over here. And then Google Meet will be like somewhere there. All right. So those are different ways that you can kind of customize Google Apps to be, kind of what you want and in the order that you want. So I'm going to click on that one time. It's going to take me to Gmail. All right. So like I said, I don't have a whole lot of messages in here, but this is where we're going to go to actually create a signature. So let's go to settings, and I'm going to click on settings, and then up here at the top, I'm going to go see all settings. All right. Okay, so in this menu, like, you're able to adjust things. You can adjust the settings. In that last menu we were viewing, you can adjust settings. In this one, you're able to set an out of office message. You can set on reply or reply all. That helps you if you didn't really mean to send it to the whole world and you just wanted to send it to one person, and you do that pretty frequently. You can set it to just reply to the individual who actually sent it to you by default. You can always change that in the individual message settings. But if you scroll down, you're able to find the fonts. So if you want to pick a standardized font that you're using, you can do so here. And then come down to, where is it? We're going to keep scrolling until we find it. Okay, signatures is down here in the middle. Okay, so what you're going to do is find signature, and then you're going to create a new signature. So we're going to do new signature, and we'll do today. And I'll name it 10-4. And I think that's kind of funny that today is named 10-4. All right, so we're going to fill this out together. I'm going to name this, my name is always first. And I'm going to put hostess. No, that's not my title. I'm executive producer. Okay. And then what is it? So you're going to either add in your company name or your group, your whatever this may be. You're going to add that in there. And then they're recommending like you add in maybe where it is. I'm going to put in Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss it. All right. And then I'm going to put in my contact info. And I like pipes, so we're going to do that. And let's see what else. I could include a confidentiality statement. And I'm just going to do, this is not a real one, so we're going to do confidentiality. And we're going to say, do not reshare this email. Thank you. All right. So now you can format it. Again, we've talked about formatting in some of the other courses. This one, it does have the same formatting toolbar down here. So you're going to be seeing what you're familiar with. So you can click on bold after highlighting the text that you want to make bold. You can make something a link by selecting it and then choosing link. And it automatically creates that as a link. You can update that link if that's not what it's supposed to be, though. And then you're going to bold everything that you want to be bold. And I'm actually just going to make this whole thing bold because why not? And then you can adjust things. So it either is going to look good or it's not going to look good. What you can do also here is change the font. So maybe I like veranda. No, that's too wide. Maybe I like Tahoma. Maybe. Maybe I like it narrow. We can do that. Okay, so you can adjust so that it feels like you, right? So you're customizing this so that it feels like you. All right, so you can add in things like images. You can add in a GIF if you want to. Those are things that you absolutely can do. When you're finished, you just save it and then return to your inbox to test it out. To save. Now, this is one of the many places you actually do need to save. So you're going to come down. So this is actually saved by itself here, but the change to your settings is not saved. So what you're going to want to do is scroll down to the bottom and then click Save Changes. So sometimes people don't realize that that's what they're supposed to do, is come down and click Save Changes. So you're going to come down and click that Save Changes button, and then it saves it. So now how do you do that? Now you come in and you prepare your email. You're going to say what you want to say. I'm going to say Lorem Ipsum, hi, and that's my message. And then I want to add in I'm going to make this bigger. I want to add in a signature. So now I'm done. Down here at the bottom, you come to the pin, and that is a pin next to the three dots. You're going to click on the pin and then choose the signature that you want. So I can choose today 10-4, and it adds it to the bottom. There are some tips here that I can give you from experience because they're painful sometimes. And that is that if you have an email that has had several replies, so you've had the original email, somebody replied to it, you're replying back, someone else replied back, and now it's got another reply back. When you leave default settings, your signature goes to the end of all of that dialogue instead of being put right there in the block of text that you're replying to. You can adjust this setting. So I'm going to take you back into settings, and we're going to come to see all settings. We're going to scroll back down to signatures, And then right underneath here is some defaults, okay? So what this is going to help you with is the first thing is when you have a new email coming through, do you want it to use a signature or not? So when you're replying to new emails, is that gonna, do you want it to use that signature or not? And you can have more than one signature. Like you saw, I have many. So you're able to add in new ones just by clicking on create new. This drop down is gonna show you all the signatures that you've created. So I can go ahead and click on the one for 10-4. I want all my new emails to use that. On reply or forward, you can decide whether or not you want an email to be added in if you're replying or forwarding a message on. You can always manually add it in, but I do keep that off for replies and forwards just because email chains get so long. It's just unfortunate that we do this to ourselves, but that document trail can be really, really lengthy. And then down at the bottom is where you're going to see, do you want your signature inserted before the quoted text, and do you want it in replies and to remove that line? And so I'm going to go ahead and say yes, because that is a pet peeve of mine. I can't not stand that. I'm going to go ahead and click on Save Changes. So now when I come in here, so first of all, we're going to go to drafts. Every email that you send is saved as a draft. I think it's like less than 5 seconds. You have to have it open and it saves it as a draft. So if you are the type of person who gets busy and you forget that you have stuff, check your drafts folder because one, you probably have tons of emails that you've never sent. And then two, you can pick up where you left off and resend those without having to retype it and re-prepare it. So that's a really great trick as well. So right now, this is the email that we were going to send, but now I'm going to show you the changes. So see, this is the email with the changes. So I can just add in the same words, but that has already been entered and I don't have to do it myself. Okay, so it removes this whole little block here that is always added in by default. So that's the difference between the two. Okay. So yeah, guys, do you have any questions? Because if you don't, we are right here at the end of what we're doing. We're going to recap and then we're going to move on. So are there any questions? All right. Okay, so let's recap and then we will continue on and I will see you guys on Thursday. So the recap for the day. You learned how to create a new calendar. You learned how to share the calendar out and add in a new event. Okay. We also learned a few tricks along the way to help with your calendaring. And then we moved on to Gmail and we learned how to receive and accept invitations, how to create an email signature, how to compose a new email and reply to other emails. So those were different things that we actually went over. And I want to encourage you that Google has a whole bunch of different apps out there. So even if you are using them, it is very likely that you're not tapping into the full potential of what some of these apps can do. There are a lot out there. So some of the ones that we want to lead you to are Google Forms. So if you've ever filled out a survey from somewhere like SurveyMonkey or any other Jot forms and things like that, like there's a Google solution for that too. You can create really cool forms. I did a whole application for my organization. So the Black Multiverse job application or employment application is built on Google Forms. So we put that out a couple days ago. So slides make your presentations easy to use. So a lot of us are using really cool tools, but some of them you're having to pay for. And Google Slides is right here and available for you. So you're able to use Google Slides to present presentations like the one that we did today. And so this is actually a Google slide that you're seeing right now. Google Meet. A lot of us are sitting in Google Meet right now. So we've got folks who've joined us on Google Meet. Others are watching YouTube. YouTube is also a Google application. But on Google Meet, you're able to have a virtual meeting with someone, connect face to face with folks, and work over the internet. So there's also Google Sites. So we will be having training on Google Meet on Thursday. Google Sites is coming soon. So that is how to use a free Google resource to create a website for your organization without any code. You don't need code to do that. So it's a no code solution. There are a lot of different applications that Google has to offer, and I hope you think about different ways that you can use these tools and incorporate them into either your education, your advancement within an organization, or how you can use them within your own business. If you enjoyed video lessons, please subscribe to Google's youtube.com/growwithgoogle. Please also go out and find Black Multiverse. I will stick that into the chat. But subscribe to us, and I will make sure that you have access to view some of the other trainings there. I'm popping that into our Google Meet session, and I'm also going to pop that into the room on Blackverse Discord and in the Skill Builders channel. And then I will email it out as well, so you'll have access to all those tools. Okay, but there's more, so don't go yet. So we have a lot of really cool things planned with Google over the next couple of months. Black Multiverse is definitely a Grow with Google partner, but before we were a Grow with Google partner, we were recipients of Google Career certifications, and those are scholarships that we are able to empower our employees with. And so if you're looking to start a new career, land a competitive paid job, or build skills to grow in your career, check out Google Career certificates. These certificates can give you a path to in-demand jobs with top employers like Black Multiverse that are hiring. You're able to earn a certificate in the fields of IT support, project management, UX design, data analytics, digital marketing and e-commerce, and IT automation with Python. And so there's some really cool steps to success and getting us to be a little bit more technically savvy into our futures. And so we want to definitely support that. There's also a ton of free online training. I am the queen of free online training, which is how I ran into Google, Grow with Google several years ago. Google has been doing this for a while. I have been a participant, and now I'm able to actually share myself with my own business. But teachers and students are able to use it. Local businesses are able to use Grow with Google tools to help new customers find you online, boost your resume with a new certification. For developers, you're able to learn to code or take your skills to the next level. So there's a lot of different ways that you can grow with Google. And so I want to once again say thank you to everybody for being here, and also to remind you that this is a series. And that is a series that we are putting out in partnership with Grow with Google's program. This partnership is between Black Multiverse and Grow with Google. We are providing what we're calling the Google Basics series. And so from October through December of 2022, you're going to be able to sign up using that link at blackmultiverse.io/basics and receive training of some kind. And so Thursday, like I said, Thursday's session is all about Google Meet. And so we're going to learn how to use Google Meet. And I promise the link for that will be the right one. You're going to be able to join that right away and not have kind of the little hiccup we had today. However, you need to register for that. After this session, give me a couple hours because I have a couple other trainings, but I will adjust the link so that it points to the new link for registering for Thursday. Also, I want to encourage you to stay connected with Black Multiverse. You can find us on Twitter at BLK_multiverse. And you're able to connect with us there. We're also out on Instagram, but primarily out on Twitter. So definitely connect there. You can also find our links on our website at blackmultiverse.io. So definitely stay connected. Whenever you see this flyer, you're going to know that it is a Black Multiverse event. We are going to be hosting them once again every Tuesday and every Thursday from now until the end of the year. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody who made it today. Man, you guys are warriors. I appreciate you for coming through. I also want to thank everybody for connecting with us and staying connected. I will be sending out this meeting invitation. I'm sorry, the replays for this. There will be a private link that's shared over YouTube. And I will send that to everybody who registered, just because there were those hiccups today, and I do apologize for that. So, and then when you get that, the only thing I ask in return is to like and subscribe to our channel, because we need followers. It's a brand new channel, and I don't even have it looking spiffy yet, but we'll make that happen sometime this week. So I will see everybody on Thursday. Thank you for being here, no matter where you watched us, and thank you. And if you have questions, or you want, us to deliver a session to your group or your community, please reach out, because we are open to do things like that. So my name is Nicole Maxwell. And I appreciate your time today. I hope you learned something that you didn't know before, and that you were able to grow with Google. This is Nicole, and my voice is resting. Thank you.